Hey friends, so I just had a gentleman walk in out of the blue. It happens periodically. Walk in out of the blue, and he sees outside a car that just came in yesterday, a 48 Chevrolet, and one of my 928s is outside. And I'll show you here in a second after I turn the camera around. He came in, he goes, hey, do you work on cars? And I'm like, well, please qualify that. What do you mean work on cars? Because if you want an oil change or diagnostic tune-up, I'm not that guy, okay? I'm not going to do that. He goes, no, I need to do some restoration work. And I said, well, okay, that's, I mainly do metal work like that in here. And he goes, oh, yeah, I want to do this. And I said, sir, let me stop you right there. I'm not taking anything in the rest of the year 2025. Nothing, no new work like that. And I'll show you why I'm not in a minute, or less than that, okay? So this is that 48 Chevrolet that this guy just saw, and he asked me about it. I said, sir, I don't know anything about this car. I don't. The shop dropped it off to me yesterday. I know nothing about this car. It's just here for being blasted, and then it's going back. And I said, look, I can't do anything, for you, sir. I apologize for that. So, and he just left a little bit dejected, but I just can't help him or anybody in that regard for that kind of work anymore for this year. I'll still do the blasting, but no more new metal work because I just can't get stuff done as it is right now. Blasting is the number one thing. Secondary is metal work. In the third layer is my own stuff. But you can see all the blasting stuff I have to do here. Probably this weekend or early next week. But it's just kind of interesting because that's a first for me, a very first time that I've gone and turned people away. No more. I can't take any work in. I can't take anything in, guys. That's just, and he just left, so here and there. But anyways, let me tell you or show you what I've been doing today. And where is that flashlight? Son of a gun. What did I do with it? Okay, I'll just talk about it. This Porsche 928, found the flashlight. The 79 model, got it back. Now, the previous owner, he modified the car, this model car, the original body, to have the S4 brakes right there. You're looking at the S4 calipers on the car that didn't come with S4 brakes. Now, I didn't know what S4 brakes looked like because when I got mine on 28, it had 993 big reds on it. So I didn't know what I was looking at. And I had Jones Auto Works down in San Antonio, Bob Jones, Porsche guy. He went through them and he looked at it and he goes, I don't think these are 928 brakes. I think they're what they call the big reds. And speaking of which, let me just show you. This is my 928, and that's one of the big reds on it right there. So anyways, I didn't know what I was looking at here on that car until Bob Jones showed me. So in the process of putting this car back together again, I noticed that this car did not have splash shields on it. So I looked back in my photographs that I took of this car when I was taking it apart, and he did not have splash shields on the car. And he didn't have any splash shields in any of his supplies, nowhere. So I have some extra splash shields, and they don't make these anymore. So they're no longer available. So I have some splash shields here, which what I'm doing is I'm in the process of modifying them to mount on to the hub carrier, and the brakes won't interfere with it. The back brakes, the back splash shields are pretty good. They're pretty a lot easier to do than than the fronts, and I'm going to show you the fronts in just a sec. But right here, let me get a pointing device. Right here, I trimmed some of the splash shield off by the pointing device here, the pick. You know, trim that back, top and bottom. Now, these things, they corrode. They don't rust, these are aluminum, but they do corrode. So this tab broke off on this one. Tab is broken off on the other side. So I'm going to put some metal in here, panel bond it, and make a new tab. But I'm not at that point right yet. But I will be pretty soon. So I modified that. And this is another splash shield for this side. But this side had a lot of corrosion on it. You can see there's a couple pinholes right there I missed, obviously. I put on some panel bond on this yesterday to fill up all those cheese grater holes that were in there from the corrosion. And as I said, they don't make these. If they made them, I'd probably go ahead and buy aftermarket ones. So it's just quicker and easier just to fix them versus trying to make, you know, something work or buy new stuff, and I'd still have to do these modifications. So the back ones are pretty much done. And then I was on the front one, and I had some extra front end stuff, you know, for my 81. So I pulled that apart, pulled the splash shield off, which is right here, and started digging into this and realized there is some definite work that needs to be done on that. Let me get this pointer again. Oh, one more thing I got to share with you. This is really important. Back to the back ones. One thing I noticed, maybe this is why the gentleman did not install the splash shields when he put these Brembo brakes on it, or these S4 brakes. If you see right here, right through that hole, center mass of the screen, you can see the caliper in the back coming up about a third of the way through the hole. And what goes in the hole is these screws, these bolts. This holds the splash shield in place. But the caliper is in the way. And the caliper is about an inch thick. You can see it right there. It's about an inch thick, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So I'm looking around for some aluminum. Where can I find some aluminum? So back to the front end part over here, pulling it apart to do the front end splash shield. My 81 has the original aluminum ball joints, which Porsche recalled all their 928s back in the early 80s because of these. These would fail, cause a big problem. These are the lower ball joints. All the weight of the car is resting right on that. So this is why they failed. The new ones are made out of a hardened steel. So here's the aluminum stuff. So this is what's going to be harvested right here. Harvest some material out of here, and I'm going to weld it onto the caliper here, and then machine it down, fit it in, and make that bolt go right through there to hold these splash shields in place. Little small things, but details matter, and that's probably why the gentleman didn't do what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because you need splash shields. Okay, I'm not going to do anything that's going to compromise the safety and integrity of the car. I don't want to put a car on the road and they say, why didn't you put splash shields on it? It's such a small thing. Rocks could come up and damage the brakes. You know, these I'm giving him these shields because I have extra ones. So it's just what it is. So getting back to the details of this, I've taken this caliper on and off 3 or 4 times. You can see the adapter bracket that's right here. I've taken this on and off, as I said, several times. I've already made one cut in here to accommodate the bracket right here. So I cut out all that. And what was on the back of it is this. I can pick it up. This was on the back of it, and you would screw the bolt through all the way from the front into the caliper on the original design, but this I can't use anymore. So I cut this tab out, cut the tab out of the splash shield, and cut this out right like that. And now I have to cut here because the caliper, I'm trying to bolt it in, trying to drive these Allen bolts through, but it won't because the splash shield is interfering. So this is the point I'm at right now, to cut this, modify it, and make it work. So on the other one, the other side, I'll just take this one off, reverse it, and make the same cuts. So there it is. This is just a small little, it's a rather big project, but it's something that has to be done because I need this car to roll. I need this car to be able to be moved in case something has to come on the lift, which the Jeep there, the Comanche, is a prime candidate for going on the lift. But anything else, I need this car to be able to be moved. And the way it is right now, I cannot. Because I don't want to put something together, have to take it apart to continue to put it together correctly. I'm a type of person to put it together right the first time to the best of my ability and not have to do it again. It's like moving a load twice. You know, picking it off the truck, taking it, setting it down, and then go back later and move it to its final destination. I don't like doing that. I like just moving things one time, 2 times max, and then be done with it. It's a little bit more efficient that way, and you don't have to do things twice. So that's the long and short in this brake. The brakes on the 79 928, and there we go. Choose.